sitting with Stephenie Meyer.
Hi guys. So we did the book review that nobody wanted, Twilight. We're so excited because we have our special guest, Kristy from headquarters. She also used to be the manager here and hired us too, so that's exciting. But yes, Twilight. 15 years later, nobody asked for it.
But it's here. And it's exciting. Oh man. Taylor, do you have it pulled up 350 chat now? Because I need to access my notes because I have so many.
Do you want to start off?
I have so many notes. How do you want me to do this?
I
We've
don't
gone
know.
about this many different ways.
I don't know. Just tell us your thoughts, because you're the whole reason we read this.
Oh,
So we read it because you've never read it.
Yes.
basically.
And he's the tutor.
Somebody, even though I got the first book choice for this, somebody preemptively ordered a bunch of copies of this. And they got here before my book. And so we ended up with Twilight.
Oh, you're excited.
Oh, I was so excited.
What a treat.
I was livid. I was so excited. Oh man, I had never read it, and I feel like I may have lost some reading ability after reading. It reads very quickly, and so I don't know how I'm going to go back to something that takes like more thought to read because I did get through it so quickly that I was like, okay, well that was done and done. Done and done.
It's a nice, easy read. Like,
That's literally how everyone described it to me, and I was like, oh gosh.
It wasn't all that light. That is why it's fun and
Oh.
windy and witty banner
There was
tried.
Bella, she was like, do you think if I ran over him with my car?
That was the way
Working
to
really hard for it there. She tried. Bella does try. She puts in an effort. She wants to do stories.
That's true.
So you were the only Twilight movie.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think-
No.
Because I wasn't the only one.
I got halfway through like years ago when it first came out. And I've seen the movie.
I had also seen the movie, so that was my reference. I still don't know what Alice looks like though, and that's sad to me because Alice is the only character I like. I don't know what she looks like.
You don't remember?
No, I don't remember which character it was. So like I don't like you see Harry Potter and you're like, oh, I don't recognize it. So you picture that immediately. Don't remember what Alice looking like.
Well, the one with the dark spiky hair. I don't remember what that was.
Very spiky.
That means nothing because I remember more.
Yes.
I thought they all kind of looked like that.
No.
Oh no!
Hey, said hey, Kristy.
Who?
Hey.
Hey.
I mean, so you like this, right?
I do. Do you want to?
No, yeah, I want to know.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to know why?
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember when I first read this, so it would have been 15 years ago, just to age myself, late 20s, and at the time I was a stay-at-home mom to a toddler and a baby. So for me, this was a great escape. It was something easy to read that I could read when I have kids like going crazy or whatever, and it was a distraction. I could put it down, pick it up, not have to keep up with some intricate storyline. And so it became kind of good stuff to read. Yes, 15 years later, I can see the camp value for sure. But it was just something that I got kind of sucked into and enjoyed. And I think, and I do believe that Twilight was the first series to kind of be a YA adult crossover to get on that. Besides Harry Potter, but I don't consider Harry Potter YA. I consider it juvenile, so I think Twilight got more adults interested in reading young adult fiction, because there was a big mom fan base who enjoyed this book.
This is like one of the first books that I ever actually read through. So I read it when I was 11. And so this was like one of the books that like made me like be like, oh, I can read big books, maybe because it was so easy. I was afraid when I like got it. I was like, this is like 500 pages. You've never even finished like 100-page book, Kaylin, and now I read it.
That you can so accomplished.
It's so good.
If nothing else, it taught Kaylin that she could read big books, and that's it.
I really liked this one because I felt like it was one of the very first books that I picked up that was a YA book that I independently chose to read. Yeah. So it was fun. I liked it.
So I know this wasn't my first Twilight book. I don't remember what would be considered that. I have a feeling that it's probably something really old and from the 80s, because that was the kind of libraries I had as a small child. When I first read this one, I already kind of knew what it was. But I have to tell you, this is really not my kind of thing. Romance is not something that's my favorite. I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's a hard sell for me. And I like the ones that are really cute or really funny or both. This was neither cute nor funny. It wanted to be. It was like it's like, oh, I long for you, Edward, you beautiful angel, and I'm like, this is definitely not my flavor.
Thank you for letting us know.
So I mean, but even if it was, I feel like still wouldn't have enjoyed it very much. I don't want to hurt your little 11-year-old feelings. This was a profoundly boring book.
Why do you put my 28-year-old feeling?
Like every time it looked like something would happen, Stephenie Meyer swerved hard and went right back down on nothing is happening. Don't get so excited about it.
It was a different experience reading it at 25.
I mean, maybe there's the fact there was a vampire and he started to look at people I don't know.
I didn't read when I was 11. No, like every 11-year-old girl.
I don't know.
I think that the first thing I read that had smooching in it that I thought was amazing was I think it technically could have been a teen book, but it probably wasn't marketed as a teen book because it was old. It was Mara, Daughter of the Nile. And she was an Egyptian spy that was hired by the pharaoh, and she was teamed up with this like Egyptian nobleman and trying to prove something to save the pharaoh from something, and he got stuck in a cave and he got out and I'm like, I'm free and I'm not dead, kiss me Mara, and I'm like, yeah. This works for me, but I mean, Twilight
Each their own, Bonnie. Each their own.
That's fair.
I'm very fond of things happening afterwards.
And you said that she really liked your review.
It's so. It was first person, and that hurt really hard to me. I don't like first person very much unless it's done in the way that this isn't done. And so I feel like for me, I can't get into the mindset of a 17-year-old teenage girl in Washington, Oregon, where is it? Washington. The Northwest. So I was like, okay, this is, yeah, it's like part of it took me out. I'm like, oh,
Well, if you like, you could read Midnight Sun, which
That's-
is it from.
I am not a 200-year-old vampire either, so.
Okay, so he's only like 100 and something. And you're aging him.
Which was great.
Yeah, I was got to that part and I'm like, oh look, it's almost relevant.
But that was my big thing, was like, third person would work so much better, I think, in my opinion. But obviously, it doesn't matter, because it was a phenomenon in first person. So.
Almost everybody knows in first person.
That's fair.
Although I don't feel it was particularly famous for this one. Everybody, I can't hear your thoughts, Bella. I bet you're wildly interested. And I'm like, I can hear those thoughts. They are not interested. Your thoughts. There's nothing going on.
And that was kind of like interesting to me, is just how much interest Bella does get in how much interest there is for Bella, and Bella's kind of boring.
She's just very ordinary, and so I don't understand what happened from when she was in Phoenix to then Forks. What's the difference that made her
I
so
think it was
alluring?
she was new, but that's it.
Maybe it's like the shadowiness of sports. It really brings out her hotness.
That was like one of the things where I was like, her whole shtick is I'm clumsy and no one really paid attention to me. And now every boy she comes across on the first 2 days she's there, like, do you want to go to the dance?
That was really funny.
There were no other boys in that school.
That's true. There were like 3 of them.
Oh, that's great.
And the Colons.
There were no.
Colons? Colons?
Colin. Well, Emmett didn't have to.
No, he did not.
So.
Oh man.
Jasper didn't either. Yeah, her also did not.
Alice didn't either.
Didn't tell her that she was wrong, she was totally
Oh man, I would have said it.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe if it's trying to get on a good side, she's going to be there like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I feel like that was probably the intrigue with Edward, is that because he has the ability that he has, and it didn't work on her, it made her even more intriguing to him, even though we know that there was not much going on there. But he didn't know that. He just wanted to know that there wasn't anything.
So I feel like his frustration is not having complete access to her every thought, every minute. Kind of obnoxious.
Do you feel a certain way about that,
I
Matthew?
do. I'm like, you've been around a long time, so you've heard a lot of teenage thoughts. So like, they're probably not that different than the ones you've read before. And because it keeps being pointed out that they are teenagers, which is why Bella acts the way she does. And it's like, well, if that's the case, you should know what a 17-year-old teenage girl is into
Yeah,
in
but
Forks.
Stephenie also really wanted to hammer in on the fact that Bella was like a 35-year-old in a 17-year-old body.
She's so mature. She cooks and cleans and does all the house chores for her dad.
Yes,
So
She took care of Renee.
And she liked Jane Austen.
oh yeah, her bookshelf. Oh man.
And then I think Wuthering Heights is her favorite book.
Wuthering Heights has a massive, wonderful history.
I do love Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is a good book.
It's something else. Much more entertaining.
I know that like a lot of the I guess not complaints, but like negative comments about the book that I recall were very much like Edward. I call him Ed in my head, so I almost call him Ed again. Like he's obsessive, and like I realized page 67, my note for that page specifically was girl sounding real obsessed right now, because she sounds real obsessed. And
She admits that. She's like, I
It's like-
guess nobody else watches his every move.
And I'm like, people were really high, like against Ed's possessiveness, and I'm like, she's just kind of uncomfortable with it, and it's
Have you known each other how long?
not long.
She declared her unrevocable, irredeemable love for him. They've had like 3 mediocre conversations. They mostly involve him asking really boring questions because he doesn't know what she's thinking.
Yeah.
One of them
That's
happened.
teenage love.
That's, well, that's fair. Teenage love.
Right.
Yeah.
Fast and doesn't run very deep.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Here I live now, Bella.
Okay.
She is very self-aware though, because like again, page 74. I took a lot of notes. She says it was pathetic. More than pathetic, it was unhealthy. And my only note is very whole speak is unhealthy right now. And So she's aware that it's unhealthy. Early on. Does
She's
she what?
dating a vampire who told her that her blood type was like his personal brand.
Oh, that was the most
That
edgy.
one, and he was like, okay, yeah, that will work, that's a good analogy.
Oh, man, I think I heard those about that too, but it's so edgy.
So no, she doesn't like pay very much into doing good things for herself.
Oh, even before she met Edward, she was being weird, because she hates sports, and I'm like, why is she in sports if she hates sports? And then I find out that it's caused some like false sense of nobility. She's like, oh, my mom used to be alone with him, and she wants to catch a sword with him. I will sacrifice myself. So I know he's in sports. I'm like, what are you, some kind of idiot? Just talk her into letting you stay alone in the apartment. It's his perfect opportunity.
Yeah, it was 50 pages in before we found out why she possibly moved to Fort. Even though the entire first chapter was her moving to Fort.
She found out how much she hated it and acting like she had to, and you can find out later she didn't have to. She just decided she needed to.
Because she was a selfless teenager.
Yeah,
I want her to help her
everything else
mom.
she's done has made me think that's what she did.
Right? Around for years. Yes, yes.
Is that the case though? Is that what?
I think she was just in love with her own suffering.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I really want somebody to make like a parody of Twilight where it's some suicidal person who realizes that Edward is a vampire and they're just like trying to.
I feel like that almost is her though. Yeah, she's like turning into a vampire Edward, and he's like, no. She's like, I really want to be a vampire Edward. And he's like, he'll die, and he's like, I'm already dying, Edward. Before I get old and ugly.
She does straight up say that. Oh, God.
I'm like, you're really reaching for this fella. I can give you points. You're trying to make stuff happen. He won't let you down into it.
What happened to you, kids? Don't
She tried to kiss him back, and he goes, whoa, 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 whoa.
Slow it down there.
And you just hold real still and let me kiss you. Don't move. I was mesmerized with my sexiness. You know, I'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, when you say it like that, it does sound weird. But you know, also dreaming in a teenage class.
It's a very, very specific point.
You're reliving your teenage years, and that's not quite how you recall them.
You know, there's Bella's teen experience is nothing like my teen experience.
That's fair.
So I don't think her teen experience is like anybody else's.
Don't
You
forget
know,
that.
for example.
I want to talk about Stephenie Meyer's obsession with cars.
She does like cars.
She named the brand of every car that everybody was driving, even when they're not in the same car.
She just
She
tried
spends a lot of time because we were in the car, and we were driving in the car, and it's like, let me tell you about this car, it was an off-road Jeep. You need to know this. It's important. You know what kind of car that Edward drives. It's a silver Volvo. We know what kind of car Rosalie drives. We know the kind of car that the boys that ask her to dance drive. One of them has a Sentra. I'm like, hey, I have a Sentra. We have so much in common.
That is a good question. Like, why does she talk like that?
I don't think I've read anything else that's written by a woman that cared as much about the cars. So I'm like, I don't give a flying fart about any of these cars. Why am I hearing so much about it?
That's true. I didn't
I
realize that.
never thought that.
There's a lot of car talk for this book.
Well, and even if you've read anything past Twilight, there is still car talk. And there are more cars.
Christina is into cars, but and I get that like feeling Edward into cars.
He likes fast cars.
He did very much
I think they went
All the vampires like fast cars.
Yeah, that was mentioned.
And then like almost character trait that this is good about.
It's an interesting character trait that I don't feel like usually happens in books.
You know, she gets credit where credit is due in this book from me. That's one of them. It's the car talk.
She also made a lot of
Girl has
comments.
so much character. More than any of the high school students. It's the truck. I can picture the truck. It's tall. It's loud. It's fun. from the sixties, and like, yeah, this is a great chapter, this is a great chapter. Yeah, something so.
Maybe it's the truck that like gets all this interest for her.
Maybe it is the truck. Because I can picture the truck, I still don't know what Alice looks like, but I know what that truck looks like.
But you know how Alice moves, and
And then also, despite being in an NFL linebacker,
lots
he
of
moves.
grateful, it's like this poking muscle.
Well, that's something that football players do, though.
Yeah, Walter Payton famously was a ballet guy.
Well, what qualities did you find in Twilight, Matthew?
Let's scroll and see.
Something he mentioned to me was Stephenie Meyer makes sure to mix up percentage structure.
Yeah, no, like the first couple of pages. Well, so, okay, I don't know how many people, if you've read fan fiction before, the first thing that, like, you're told as, like, a newbie fanfic writer is vary your sentence structure and, like, the length of your sentence. She follows that to a T, to the point that it's no longer staggered, but very much, like, the same.
You see a pattern in the sentence?
Yeah, the pattern is so, like, evident that it's no longer, like,
I would not make it.
I don't think so. What's that about?
it's just, I don't know if it carries the whole thing, because I love to really follow it like that. But I do know that the first 50 to 100 pages very much followed a very similar, like, there wasn't a whole lot of varying. And so that was, I guess that's a positive. But it is just something that I noticed almost immediately reading that article.
Yeah, that whoever designed the cover is iconic.
It's
It was an amazing marketing choice, and I believe a large part of the reason it is so popular. So you put this up there. That's eye-catching. It doesn't look that way now, because so many other covers have tried to do this. But at the time, it was like, whoa, what is that? And my eyes drawn to this red apple on this cover right away.
That's pretty cool.
I really like this cover.
I will give the cover credit.
I'm lucky
I
to
recognize
have
it
a font
immediately.
choice, so if it's a little curly G, I don't like that. But who's that? Just me.
I think I have three things that I was like, okay, these are okay. And that is, the first one was when they were doing the blood test in school in biology, and she does the whole almost pass out thing. And Ed is very sarcastic and acting, and like does it all up in the office. I'm like, okay, that's kind of clever. Like, that's pretty good. Because he's very sarcastic about it too. Rolling his eyes behind everybody and just handing it up. Loved it. That is a redeeming quality for it. The other one that I remember is I did like the climax of the book with James and the other vampires. I kind of like the hunt sequence because they try to come up with this elaborate plan of how to shake him, and he's like, no, I figured it out pretty quickly. It's like, surprise, your mom is not even here. Like, I was
using her voice.
yeah, like it was kind of clever. Like, I'll give her that. And then the last thing that I was like, okay, this is okay, is just Alice and her talking this thing, her precognition thing. I'm like, okay, that's unique. Like, I don't recall too many stories that rely on that with vampires and stuff. So, like, she's been my favorite character. She's like in it for all the chapters, but she's the one character. Yes.
Just wait until you finish the series.
You say that like that's gonna happen immediately.
It's
Not
so
gonna
happen.
Don't you want to see what happens next?
I want to know more about Alice. That's all.
And then finishing up with reading Midnight Sun.
No.
So I can hate Edward even more.
Well, I have no interest in reading the same story over from that
I did
perspective.
watch
Even if
it
it
all.
was a story that I enjoyed, that kind of thing, forward to me,
Yeah.
and I did not enjoy it. So from that perspective, I know what Edward is.
I still have to get on Midnight Sun. I made it about 100 pages in, and then I decided I do not need to hear the same story from his perspective. It's not making much difference.
Yeah, that's
fair.
really
That was
what
way
was
too long.
radically
Yeah.
different from the eyes of the character for me on it.
Yeah, it was the
Same
exact
thing,
same thing.
only from that character's perspective.
Oh yeah. And like even when I first read this, and even now, I'm still Team Edward. like the insight that it provided for some of the other characters, like Alex.
Well,
So
like,
when you finish it, I know you'll like it even more.
That's like the thing for me though, is I don't understand how the vampirism works in this book. Like, is Edward a 17-year-old, mentally a 17-year-old, or he's 100 and whatever? Or is he just like a grown man who looks 17? Like, I don't know how it works in this book. Which makes it kind of changes the story a little bit if he's not a 17-year-old guy who happens to be 100 years old.
So I
So,
personally feel like kind of both at the same time. Because he comes across both his
Yeah.
stupid 17-year-old who's obsessed with this one girl because he's everything about her, and a really old man.
but like with the obsession part though, like vampires are predatory. That's something that they very much push on. This is like they hunt and things, so it's very much just like a predator. Their instinct.
That's another problem. I
Finish with the
kind of
developing
feel-
at 25. So like, did his brain get to finish developing?
I mean, like, isn't it like your peak mental ability now like 30 something too? So like, does he continue to develop that as well? Or
When he frees, he might very well have frozen with the mentality of a 17-year-old.
but that changes the story a little bit. If like it's one or the other, like the story has a very different vibe to me. If it's because like it feels more Christopher Lee Dracula if he's aged and less Edward from Twilight if he's.
I think he's had all that time too to experience different things, study whatever he's wanted to study, so he has aged mentally, I would say.
He has more like it.
Yeah, I like that experience in
I don't
general.
like that answer though. For obvious reasons, I think I don't really like that answer a whole lot.
It comes across as both, and I
Yeah.
don't know if it's intentional or if it's Stephenie Meyer just doesn't know how to write it to me.
Which is fair.
Or being sharp for that matter. That's why it comes off as like a 35-year-old lady sometimes, and other times it's a really selfie 13-year-old.
Yeah, that's fair.
He has such the stage for absolutely every other person in the world that's not Edward.
But why like Angela? Straight.
It
That is-
doesn't capture any questions or exhibit any interest in her life.
Like,
Which is a terrible reason to like someone or like, I have to really got their date to this problem.
Yeah, she like Angela.
which one was it?
This one was the quiet one.
Okay. And which one was it that she didn't like or she was like okay with?
So
it,
there were
like her?
several of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the chatty one, you wanted to be like, oh, tell me all about Edward, Bella,
Very gossipy.
which is a lot.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the first.
And so that's why she liked Angela, because she could ask Angela questions about Angela's being like prying into her business.
Well, I respect Angela.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Angela's
she
an
had an
underrated
underrated
character.
story, but, yeah, she's fine with,
I really want more Angela story.
Angela has a whole secret story going on that you never get to see, okay? She went and she got herself a date to prom that was any of the boys that the other girls tried to push on her. She picked out her own date. She thought she would be like dating dreamily after him at the prom, so she apparently likes him. That's a whole other story you don't get to see. Go, Angela.
A little healthier than the one that we were
This is not with the long story, but I really wanted there to be a way for you to be able to actually kill a vampire. The whole thing just seems so
They're very overpowered in this book.
immortal, makes me sad.
And they don't need any of it.
Like,
They don't have anything, any of the things for it.
they're the perfect predators.
Yeah, I mean, they're superpowered predators. We could just be like alluring and have sharp teeth and they could get all the food they want. They don't need to be faster than a steamboat, more powerful than a locomotive.
We have
Edward.
And have superpowers like mind reading.
That was gonna be my question, was how did you feel about the glitter?
I need my vampires to burst into flames when they're in the sunlight. I need something, like, Bonnie nailed it when she said that it feels like nothing happens when things should happen. And it's like, okay, he's gonna reveal that, like, he smokes in the sun because he's burning away. No, he glitters. And then it's like,
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Sounds amazing.
so shocking.
And he's already super hot apparently. We don't need him like also like he's a disco ball too. It's not fair.
I'm very close.
No, it's like you put him on that, and it's like the background story company is actually literally on the living there.
I really just want to wait for a human to be able to kill them. Or, like, at least, like, make them vulnerable. I don't know.
Yeah,
Really mentioned like the garlic and stuff. I don't know.
Maybe make them Nile or something like that.
Oh, that's right. She's like naming things off and it's like.
yeah, he said that they don't know how to be done that.
That is true. He doesn't do that stuff, which is, I mean, I didn't think he did at any point,
He
but
laughed and she said, yes, he did.
he did.
I'm like, kind of sad, because we could be a little sparkly back. Like, and that's how he gets in her room, and that would be the best.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, the green
No,
part.
it's just a.
We like glitter, glitter, glitter. On your right now, on your bed.
How about that? That he watches her while she's sleeping? How do you
It doesn't really get.
Okay, so-
It's creepy.
That is
So
really
like,
creepy.
like, that just goes back to the, is he a 17-year-old boy, or is he a 100-something-year-old man?
I
Because,
know, if my 17-year-old son was watching a girl in her room, he would be arrested.
yeah, no, it's very, no, it's 100% an odd thing anyways, but like, one of them is less odd than the other. I'm just like, I don't know, it's like if, like, my neighbor down the street decided to watch me, it's a little weird. And it would be less weird. I was trying to be polite, it's very strange.
That's very strange, but not as strange as Bella not really caring.
Yeah, Bella's really chill with it.
That is,
Well, it was not waiting for one bit when she
Bella's not
found
really
out.
phased by
she's not
anything.
phased by very much until she is.
See, but that's also because she just knows that she loves him.
Except for blood. Bella's very
What?
phased by blood.
Well,
Yeah,
no, wait,
thought that she
okay.
might believe.
I have like a question that I guess is kind of theory-ish.
Yes.
Jasper, his whole thing is like, everybody's emotions are taken whether he decides or whatever. So like, if she's already infatuated with him and he just happens to be around, does that play into her like super infatuation?
If Jasper is close to Bella, does that increase her infatuation?
Yeah, like so his whole shtick is he can he can calm the thing down or he can like amp it up or
Well, that
whatever.
implies that Jasper is like some big Stella Edward shipper, and
Well, like, why
and
not
he's
though?
happy for his girl.
Like the rest of the family, except for Rosalie, seems to be like Ed needs it. He's been around forever and has nobody. And so why would Jasper just quietly be like, hey, yeah, she's infatuated. This is perfect.
Well, I mean, that would be a very different story, and also.
And that's the thing. Parenting.
Well, that would explain where that came from a little bit.
I don't think it needs to be explained. That was his perspective.
That's true.
Well, I don't think Bella's gonna be as affected by Jasper.
But she was
Yeah, she's like the whole like the last few chapters.
She was
of
she
the
had
book.
calmed it at her at the end. Like, yeah,
Okay, so.
Yeah, like every time that she started to get too hyped, he did his little thing.
which is like the whole book, actually. It gets too exciting, so you like, calm down.
That's true.
Calm down. That's not actually happening.
So like that's something I was like I wonder if that's like they like collectively that's why Rosalie's so angry about everything all the time. It's like everybody else is like, no, we're doing this, and she's like, no, screw that now. And like, you know,
I think she's worried about, like, her in it.
is she put in it? Is that she's
Well,
on
really, it's in the couple.
and
Jasper and Alex. But Edward was the only lonely one.
and he feels yes. See, well, see that's kind of where like I was like I wonder if like this whole they all
The
seem
whole
to be
thing
cool.
is his family conspiring to imitate.
It's kind of what it felt like by the end.
Well, it did for a little bit. But it had been the manufacture this whole scenario so that they could have a family member because they want Edward to have somebody.
But it, like it fits with the rest of the family. Like everyone else seems to be like I don't know how to pronounce the mom's name, but she's like
This
that.
would be like a possible horror novel plot. I mean, it would be kind of interesting.
Really fun.
It would work
Like
really
this poor
well.
girl being trapped by this entire family who thinks that their one lonely son needs a mate.
Alright, but she's a little rowdy, like,
They're like circling around her. And
That's not like the next birthday, like, a whole family.
Yeah, a couple of like
Because I just watched House of a Thousand Corpses
Very
accidentally.
yeah, very good.
And that was like a whole family who just did horrible things to
Yeah, I'm like text check on that for the family as well, but. So because that's not a dumb theory, right? Like that's a question not allowed to have and it not be like.
I mean, if it was a different book, that would be very legit thought.
So I'll be expecting your fan fiction soon.
You know? Man, Rhino just started.
Hey, you know, it's very lucrative to have fan fiction. Twilight, you can turn them into real books and make lots of money.
True.
Yeah.
It has happened. Okay, well, I don't feel as bad as wondering about that for them.
Yeah, but it doesn't feature very much in the book.
Which is why it's like the perfect, like, big reveal. Like, the guy that orchestrated it all, the quiet guy that didn't ever do anything.
But I thought that they were going to have some thought with Rosalie where she's like, I'm sick of this girl, I don't want her hanging around, and then, slightly for this year, there's going to be family drama.
I'm so excited for you guys to finish the series.
You keep saying that, and I'm not sure you're going to get excited.
I think that kind of happens a little bit, but indirectly.
But
Very indirectly.
instead of
Rosalie
James,
causes a lot of drama.
it should have been Rosalie.
Rosalie almost kills somebody,
I mean-
indirectly.
I feel like Stephenie Meyer doesn't care about Rosalie very much, so if she gets sacrificed to be the villain, it's probably shouldn't have done very much. If she becomes a bigger, more important character later on, then I take it back. But
See, that's like my thing, is because I've never read the series, like, my reference is just this. Like, I've never seen any of the movies, but the movie.
on this alone,
So,
you could have killed Rosalie and it wouldn't have mattered.
I do notice where she did foreshadows and stuff a little bit better this time.
Yeah.
So like some of the things that happen on later in the series, they're kind of like foreshadows in here.
I mean, the Alex Mission thing, I think that's the only one I would know.
Yeah. That one. Something else. I really don't remember. But no, it's okay. I'm just making that a lot. Nobody can make it up that.
Oh, I started a clumsiness tally. Anytime she or someone mentions that she's clumsy, I started in chapter 11 and only did it for like a chapter, and I marked like 8 times. So she's very clumsy.
Yeah, you were telling me she wasn't.
She's not clumsy though. They just pointed out that she's super
That's when
clumsy.
they're deliberately saying that she isn't. She's not clumsy until they say, yeah, she's clumsy herself.
I think
So,
she
and
I think it's just she attracts things.
That's like her one trait for like most of the book. They were super clumsy and like it never happened.
Maybe the danger from this is her just thinking she's clumsy. Because she is very prone to danger.
I did not enjoy the part where she went down that one time and the 4 guys were like, oh, look, it's Bella, we have to.
Yeah,
Attack her.
that's not how it goes.
And I'm like, what is this from? This is from the first book. I don't like that. I don't like that. And Edward swoops in, he's like, oh, I want to murder them. And Bella's like, I'm fine now, because this is where Edward and I'm too upset. I'm going to kill those guys. I'm like, it's bad that Edward cares more than you, Bella. What is wrong with you? This would have ruined my week, month, year life. I would have been like taking on everything. I don't want ravioli. I need to have.
Sounds so good.
She does enjoy the
And I'm also like, we need to call the police. I want those guys arrested. Apparently, no, we're not going to murder them, but we're not going to get them arrested. They're just going to wander around. So they can do that to some other lady. It's
I
fine.
think this is maybe one of the very teen moments and doesn't exactly know how to handle the situation.
That's fair.
I would have
Because
how to
she
handle
can't
it.
read minds. It didn't register to her what great danger she was in.
Oh, she registered.
Yes, she
She's
did.
like, I got my little purse. I'm going to scream and hit them with it. I'm terrified until Edward shows up, and then apparently I can't hold 2 spots. It's fine, but Edward's one of those spots. So now I'm not concerned.
I'm gonna defend her a little bit. I think like that would be, as you said, a very shocking event, and like people respond differently to different things.
Well, yeah, but
But
then she would have like,
mentioned like that she's good at blocking out bad
Yes,
things.
she
but
is,
can't
which
really
is-
block it out.
very concerning.
And that's how she like maybe deals with her trauma, and I feel like maybe Stephenie should have explored.
That would require
Explored that
character
more.
exploration.
But that still doesn't like. So she handled it that way. But again, it's been around a long time. I feel like my guy knows to hit 911 button when there's a pack of roasting dogs out
You
there.
don't have murderous rage though, Matthew. he's not thinking clearly because he wants to murder them, and that's one of Stephenie's better, like, characterizing scenes.
Yeah, as a vampire, he used to murder guys like them all the time, and he ran away from Carlisle, right?
Yeah, like he spent like 10 years just murdering people. Like,
I feel like he would be like, you know what, I can make another exception again this one time, and those guys would have like disappeared, and Bella would be like, oh, I really will never bother you again. And then people would be like, those guys are gone, I don't know what happened to them.
not my
Like,
favorite.
it would be more interesting, but I guess the author doesn't want him to murder anybody because
No murders happen.
morally ambiguous in some way. Which was too interesting.
James gets his, and like I don't
Yeah,
know.
they
what
have to part James. I don't see why he can't do something about it.
I need to know. Like that's the one moment in this book where vampires were like gonna get to be vampires, and she's in the hospital and she's black out. I don't see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't get to see James get ripped apart and set on fire, and I'm upset about
Yeah,
that.
that's all I wanted. I was.
Wait, do you get that in Midnight Sun? Do you get to see James getting ripped apart?
Edward was not here for that.
Yeah, that was Carlisle.
Busy covering over
Yeah,
Bella.
it was a Carlisle thing.
So,
You
no,
do
he
get
had
that
not seen
scene.
it.
But you don't get all the information that you would expect.
That's unfortunate.
But it's like, cause doesn't he say Carlisle was the one that does? Like,
Carlisle and Jasper took it out. He stayed with Bella.
you can ruin this for me.
Look, if we're not
Carlisle,
related,
Jasper, and
Maybe
Edward,
spoilers.
Detective Alice, and Bella were in that scene.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And you are able, you get the insight as to what Emmett and Jasper are doing, but their main focus is not that, it's mainly Bella in
Oh,
that
that
situation.
makes sense.
Because of how the situation played out.
yeah, Edward was like,
That's fine.
oh, I love you, I'm not baby, you can't watch this in
I mean, she's unconscious, but it's fine. It's.
I mean, to be fair, I would probably be unconscious in that situation.
Yeah, but I feel like the reason she's unconscious isn't because it's realistic, it's because
Oh,
that
let's
we
be
didn't want to
fair.
write that scene. And, like, that would be too gruesome and too interesting. You
Yeah.
can't see it, Bonnie. I'm sorry.
I just.
You don't get to know how you can get rid of a vampire in this world, even though I already know, but no, it would be really hard to do.
I really do want there to be like some elite human squad who hunts
That would
vampires,
be
like
amazing,
the
they're like
boys,
mecha suits.
like
With
the
like
boys who hunt the
Yes.
superheroes.
I feel like
I need that.
that's like the lore building that she did was not lore building, but removing lore. That was what it consisted of. It was like, okay, what do vampires normally do in books? We're just gonna take all of that out, and that's it. That's how much lore we're building for this.
That's because this is the teenage fantasy of a vampire.
I know I wasn't a normal teen in my like book choices, but like if I wanted a vampire book, like Dracula,
That is true.
or a gentleman.
Yeah.
I feel like there were vampire elements that I would see, and they were a little more dangerous than this.
I don't do the romance stuff very often, which is another hit on the book for me, I
A lot
guess.
of the other vampire books coming out at this time. Because after this, they
Yeah.
were taking off.
And I'll need to dig back into my history of fantasy books for kids and teens. I feel like there was some vampire ones in the 80s and early 90s, and then there was a vampire drought, and then this happened, and there was a resurgence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really read any of the other ones around this time. I think I
I
started
didn't read a lot of them either because, like I said, it's not my favorite.
I feel like this was the only one that I really read.
I think I read one where he was like a scary vampire of the night, and she was like, I know they existed as songs.
Yeah, there's like that whole cast series or something. And then
Oh yeah, that was out.
I
And
read
My Secret Vampire.
I read Blue Blood, but I never got to finish
That
the
was a
series.
little closer to the Twilight era.
Yeah, I read Blue Blood, but I never finished the rest of the series because it's like the whole series wasn't out pretty much never.
The cover in my mind.
I'd have to get a couple
And I
of
can't
things out,
remember the
but
Silver Kiss.
just a couple.
Why not the Silver Kiss?
One of the things that I also
Dark
noticed
Angel.
of the sentence structure is There's a lot of teeth brushing in this book. Like she's
I do remember she brushes her teeth when
quite
she
frequent.
in her room. What else?
Like, I mean, I didn't write down the pages, which is the one time I didn't write down the pages, but there's a lot of, like, cleanliness and explanations of, like, she would rush to the bathroom to brush her teeth, or I brushed my teeth and then I got breakfast and went to school. There were a lot.
There's a lot of descriptions of her doing this everyday things
Yeah.
like homework,
Like an odd amount of
like an upsetting amount. Like,
Like,
you
this book was a
don't
lot
have to tell me
shorter.
about her Macbeth essay. I don't need to know.
I kind of like those little details for like the Macbeth essays.
That's fair, but like the amount of teeth
But
brushing.
there's so
that
many
goes
of
on.
them. I know having subjects that feel more real, but
Did you read
we
it
have
again?
all of
Oh, it's
them.
on teeth brushing?
Maybe it's just to point out how many human moments she has and how much more of her time is spent doing just human things.
It feels like a lot of
Edward,
time.
they're not,
Right, same with the eating.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they,
I
like,
like
they
they
have
have
to
to
have
have
a
someone
check-in on her, making sure that she eats at regular times.
Yeah.
That's a little different though. Like that part makes sense because like the vampires who don't need to do that are trying to make sure that we're remembering how humans have to actually function. But like when she's just by herself, it's like I went and brushed my teeth and then my dinner and then I woke up and brushed my teeth.
Oral hygiene.
That is fair.
And I don't think she should be knocked for promoting oral
Yeah,
hygiene.
it's not a knock. It's something that I noticed that I found very different. And I don't remember reading a book that mentioned teeth brushing often.
I have heard it mentioned in one of the when they're writing the story though.
That's fair.
Well, you know what we shouldn't do? You shouldn't tell me what character has to breakfast every single day. I think we shouldn't overburdening a story with mundane details. that don't matter.
Really like to know about the food.
But like the food is important to the story, like if it's like a cozy mystery, stones and murder, and you need to know about those stones. It describes every stone because it's a food book. It's not a food book.
I mean, there's an apple on the cover.
There is an apple, there's no apple.
They do.
Oh, this book is the thing that I do not like. It has a quote from the Bible on the front, and it's nothing about religion in this book. It's not a religious book, but they're like, ooh, do not eat from the tree, it's good and evil, or you'll surely die like I eat you. Bible quotes belong in religious things. Don't stick them on the front of your vampire romance, especially when they only vaguely sort of relate to it, and not really at all.
If you would solve the mystery though of how the first vampires appeared, is that what we were really getting to? Could you just solve the
Possibly.
mystery?
What,
think
did
you
they
just
come
saw-
from the tree of good and evil?
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna spitball here. I'm just gonna spitball.
I
So,
think you just did.
No,
I think what happened is
after
after Adam and Eve, I'm guessing a third person must have found this tree
Adam
somehow.
and Eve and the other guy.
And that other one,
After Steve.
Steve.
Steve, the vampire, picked up that apple core and was like, there's still some left.
And then after like Steve saw what happened to them, God's like, really? Okay, let's curse you.
It's like, Steve,
That explains it all.
Is
Why
that
do you think you're
yeah,
that?
nothing.
something that this book does that's like that TV shows do is, you know, or movies, when they say the name of the movie in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did that too.
Yes, it is. Page 232, and which show says it's Twilight. And I'm like, ah!
Twilight. Title.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And
you know the
my
beginning.
book title testified.
I think it's the epilogue of the beginning.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You already did it, Edward, you don't need to do it again.
Edward saying the night sun.
Oh god, it's
Oh my
I
god.
don't even know
I
how
don't
he
even
was
remember. I felt like they did, I'm sure they did say Twilight though.
With him being in Alaska for a little while, he was trying to avoid Dallas. That way.
Maybe. I'm still not quite sure why it's called Twilight.
because he says it. It's Twilight.
It's so sad, one on darkness and ending it in darkness. No,
I
it's
love
the
a little
beginning,
bit more
you
of an
can
answer.
see the
She
stars.
has the title in mind and just drop that in there.
Was it his favorite kind of day?
I think it was his least favorite time of day.
Yeah, I didn't even care.
Because it's like the humans go to bed, so then I have to like ignore you. Now I stare at you through your window.
He sees it as a
You can have the
ending
title
and Sean comes
change.
darkness, and Bella sees it as the
Sorry.
beginning and
Sorry,
the stars
you.
come out. And it's dramatically appropriate.
You look like you had something.
I was trying to think about the progression of the titles. So you have Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and then Breaking Dawn.
Yeah,
Progression like that.
yeah.
Okay. And the progression of Bella as a character, as an adult.
You
You know,
know,
finally growing into an adult. There's so much there.
There's
And we're
so
trying
much
to
Wait,
more
wait,
than finally being that
You don't have
vampire.
time for it all.
No,
No, not at all.
The minute she found out that was the thing that could happen. Bella wants to be a vampire so bad in this book. You know, like the minute she finds out that's a thing, she's like, do it to me. I want to be a scarf turtle vampire. And he's like, no, you don't want to be a scarf turtle. She's like, yes, I do.
If you could read my mind, then you would know.
Like, you want to be a star food, you know, vampire. If I could be Glory all the time, I'd be happy all the
I
time.
would also choose to be an empire.
If I could choose, it would be the Christopher Dracula type.
I mean, that's fair. But, like, just, like, I like how they don't have to sleep in here. Do you know how, like, I could get done?
Yeah, that's fair.
That would be a
Well,
lot.
Edward doesn't seem to do anything when everybody else is just
He does, we'll find out later on in other books that he does.
I mean, in this book, you for sure watch it, there's something.
That's when he learns to play the piano perfectly.
There you go.
Find out way later that he's musical, even though he's done nothing but have to play the questions the entire time. He's never come up with it. So he knows what he needs.
I get that this really reads a lot.
Really?
It's like Bella, like, mentions how much, like, how smart he is all the time. And
Yeah, they're right all the time.
Because that was mentioned in the thing that it's supposed to be good, so it's supposed to be, it's really going to be that much. Was it in the story?
He's kind of an immature vampire.
Or is he 17?
No. He's the oldest in his group. Like, he's the most immature vampire in this
Well,
group.
we don't have his brain, like, stop developing.
Then these are questions that need to be answered.
That's what he needs. If his brain stops developing at 17,
I don't think Allison's brain even got a chance to develop and she was a student. She was in the asylum.
That is true.
Yeah.
Which that's another thing where you like she does this twice in this book where she builds this big mystery and it's like, okay, what are the Cullens? What is Ed? And then Jacob Black shows up and in a 4-paragraph thing and ruins the entire field back and just tells you the whole thing. And then at the end you're like, Alice is this mystery, no one knows where she comes from. And it's like surprise, ironic, I
Let me
guess.
tell you, you'll be to find out on your own. That would be too exciting.
Stephenie did choose to write about the 2 most boring characters in
And like,
Alice's backstory, and she's from an insane asylum. Emmett and Rosalie's story sounds actually pretty cute.
Yeah, like Alice's is dope though, because it's like she's stuck in this asylum, and Carlisle's there. It turns out dude is hunting her, and Carlisle's like, the only way I'm gonna save her, she's already lost. Like I'm gonna save her by turning into this is cool stuff. And instead I get
Just dying from the influenza.
Ed,
and
The most average female I've ever met.
He's really boring,
Right.
so
I
that's
don't want to
perfect.
say Stephenie Meyer maybe wrote herself in this book, but you know.
He was just waiting to fall because he couldn't find anyone instead inside the field.
yeah.
And I love his meant to be. And they can just be really boring together forever and ever and ever.
I can
No one
get
else would want this, but Bella wants
I
this.
think Stephenie Meyer for sure wrote herself in because it's like the name of the wind. Because I have to think about this book. I'm like 100% sure Patrick Rothfuss was like, this is what I wish I was in high school, and so this is the main character. This is what Stephenie Meyer, like this is totally how it happened in high
For
school.
a second, I thought you said Bond was the wind. I'm like, what?
That one too. Carl, name of the wind.
Because Stephenie Meyer was how Bella was in Arizona, I'm sure. And so she wanted to rewrite what it would be like moving somewhere new and finding
Yeah, I always just kind of figured Bella was Stephenie. I mean, she looked like her. Here she is. Just needs slightly darker hair, and I'd be like, yeah, that's Bella. That's her.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I think a lot of times that happens with authors, so I read several things and then saw the author like, hey, this is just an idealized version of yeah.
That's fair. I just.
The best one was the guy who wrote my ghost hunting books, and then I found out that he was a lot like an older version of the boy that's the years of ghost hunting books. And then the ghost hunting books like, I'm charismatic and dashing, and I fight ghosts, and I wear a squishy scarf, and cool ghost hunting girls think I'm neat. Oh, yeah, this is your dream. Live that dream, author.
Yeah,
You're cool. You have a squishy scarf and hot ghost. It's fine.
That's
Right at everyone.
absolutely Stephenie Meyer in this book. Is she's so normal and clumsy and whimsical, but
This
she's
is like, that's the beginning of a lot of books like this, that there's going to be the ordinary person and they're bored with their ordinary life, and then you meet this sexy person who's going to sweep them into adventure. Except that everyone's not that interesting.
I mean, it's the least interesting. That's been my thing. Again, Alice is the one character I like, but you don't know it, but like, you got it. I like Alice.
I do like that.
I like how.
I don't know, I'm 27. So I started this close to when you read your first time.
Yeah.
Different circumstances.
Right.
I still don't really see what the original story was. Like, I get that it's an easy read, and it's
If
pretty
you're
easy to get into it.
11, like Taylor was, or 13, and you're just thinking, maybe I do want to kiss a boy, but I'm not really sure yet. This might be real dreamy when they get to like the woods and they're like touching hands, but nothing too scary is happening. It's not more than like maybe an
Introduction into romance.
It's
But
like,
that's exactly what it is. It's like a soft intro into romance. And I know
yeah, and like maybe then and you were thinking that's and then you'd be like, yeah, this is swim worthy, and then you got me at that exact moment, or if you just like, I love reading fucking romance things, and I can pick it up and put it down. Then that might be like, I think that might be hard to remember being a 13-year-old and thinking it doesn't mean it's not my
So basically what I'm getting from this was it was okay for one girl to read it, but not.
Why are you gonna read it?
No, it's because it is so like.
But if you came up to
fluffy.
me and was like, Bonnie, I was beautiful, wonderful, perfect man, and I wish my husband was like that. I'd be like, no. But if you're like, yeah, I read Twilight, it was fun, so yeah, so have fun, enjoy your vampire guy.
Like really though, what was, other than it being kind of easy to pop in and out, like what was the, because I genuinely don't know, because it's not the kind of thing I normally read, I don't know.
So previously I had read some of the Anne Rice novels.
Oh, there you go.
Those are very different vampire stories.
That's on the
So
side.
this was like Vampire Light.
That's fair.
And it's also a good, again, gateway to fantasy and to YA.
Yeah,
Now,
fair
since
enough.
then, I've obviously read many more well-written YA books than this particular one. But at that time, again, there wasn't a lot of crossover with adults reading YA.
Yeah,
And so I feel like this was kind of the first one that looped people in.
And Hunger Games, well, they almost were talking about.
Almost, Hunger Games was a little bit later. So those were what hooked an adult crowd. So I think it was just because it was so unusual to anything that I had read previously. And again, it kind of had that fantasy element to it without being super gory.
there was no violence.
I wanted yours.
Yeah, I had vampires, I wanted like a vampire fight.
I was like, yeah, I'm like, and I want TJ to get with the car.
Yeah, like I was ready for it.
And I'm like, you give me nothing.
It felt like it was built up to have like a climactic, like you're finally gonna get to see vampires, like what they actually can do, and then you don't get that, and that was kind of
I mean,
disappointing.
the story doesn't usually go as good, but when you tell me it's a vampire, it's great spoiler. I'm expecting to see something.
I expect more blood than the blood testing in biology class. Like I expect a little bit more. Okay, well that's fair. So, like, cause, like, I think part of my issue was, cause I didn't read this when it came out, it's just, when I read it, like, I read Dracula by that time. Like, I was into, me and my friends, we used to, like, compete with reading, so, like, it was just whatever we could grab to read, so, vampire stories would be the older vampire stories, they're more exciting for a young teen boy. And then, like, romance wasn't interested in. Fantasy, I'd already read The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit multiple times. So, like, it's just, I don't know. And I guess I could see the appeal to it for the greatest crowd. But, like, I always picked the things that, because I was the teen and everyone wanted you to read a specific thing, well, no, I want to read Lord of the Rings. I don't want to read Redwall anymore. I read that in elementary school. I want the good stuff. So, because it's like the vampire-like stuff, I don't think it ever appealed to me. And it's the para-romance stuff, which is never also, I don't know, too much romance in my book. I kind of like bogs it down when there could be. Like this book, if you ignore half of the musings that they have between each other in the woods for chapters on end, if you gave me like more on Alice or on Emmett, like they could have built a lot more, especially considering it's a 500-page book and nothing happens for like 250 pages. It felt like I would give it the credit in that it is definitely a good base. It has definitely created a strong like desire for this type of book that still persists. It is an easier read. It got a lot of people into reading. It just because it feels like something that could have been done to make it more open to more readers, I guess. Like it almost feels like a disservice. Like it could have been even larger somehow if it had included a little bit more.
You know what? I don't think that's true. I think it would have made it less of a light read.
Well, it would have been a little bit less of a light read, yeah.
That people could pick it up.
I think the ease of it is
Part of the
the
deal.
structure.
I mean,
Like the way it's written is not like she doesn't use any. I mean, she uses pariah once, which is an interesting word for a teenage girl to use. But other than that, it's very basic language.
she used another phrase that was like, that's not a female phrase.
Holy crow.
What was it? Oh.
She uses holy crow 3 times.
No, it wasn't holy crow.
Yeah,
What was it? It was some very strange turn of phrase. What was
Tell me
that?
about it this year.
Oh, when she needs saved by being crushed by a car, she describes what Edward's doing is uttering a low oath. Yeah, he's swearing. He swore, okay?
Yeah.
He didn't utter a low oath. That's what people in historical fiction movies do.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, I still think because it is written, the sentence structure is it has a pattern, and it's not like none of it's difficult language, so it's very easy to input to read. Like even if you would have taken some pieces out of the wilderness and given it to Emmett or after it got a little bit more from him, you still would have built more while it's still being a fairly easy read. And I feel like you would have been able to attract an even larger audience because you are getting other sections.
I'm not gonna sound real mean, and I'm not trying to be mean at all, actually. That I think Twilight is what I call a trash book, which just makes it sound like I'm hating on Twilight. But I love trash books. I just like trash books that are my flavor of trash books, which means that they're not very demanding. They have themes that are like in it, and you can just be like, yeah, tell me all about this. And then you're like, yeah, I'm done. I did it. I read that. It was fun.
You know what Amazon,
Which I should probably not call it trash book. I should probably call it like fun read or something more like good sounding, but that's what I've always called them in my mind. So, this is not an insult because I have loved many trash book listeners, and some of them are actually really good. I would argue for them, but they're not like I am still literature. I'm still literature. And my writing is the beauty. I mean, I have a stack of books in here called So I'm a Spider, So What? And like that is about someone who's like, oh, I've been reborn into a fantasy world, but a spider monster. It's stupid. It's so dumb. But I'm like, yeah, this is fun. The spider monster has superpowers now. Eee! So I mean,
The palate cleanser.
so I don't understand why you would enjoy such food.
Okay, I know you're a fan, right?
You just like
I really enjoyed it as a teenager, going back and reading it as like a 25-year-old. I'm like, oh, Edward's really creepy. I mean, but to be fair, as Matthew pointed out, Belle is really creepy too. Like, they are kind of a perfect pair because they're both really boring and they're both really creepy.
They're both infatuated.
So, like, you know, I guess I can appreciate that aspect of, you know, somebody did take a turn of events, and instead of writing about really interesting characters, they wrote about really boring characters, and I can actually appreciate that. Somebody was like, I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit and write about these, like, really boring characters, and you know what? She made more money than I will ever make in my life.
I mean, she doesn't need to feel bad about anything that anyone says. She just laughs all over the place.
Like, I don't know how much work she put into this, but she could have put in not a lot of work, and she made more money than I could ever dream of making in my life.
Now, that's just a garage full of cars.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She's got a Volvo, she's got a red convertible, it's great.
And I
All
do.
the cars.
All the cars.
I will always have an appreciation because it did help me get into reading. Because I didn't really read. It was this book and East by like Jody. I forget her last name. It's really, I just never learned how to pronounce it. So like these were, I read these both in my 6th grade year, and they were both like 500 plus page books. And like before that, I never even like finished a chapter book in my life. So they were like books that helped me realize, oh, I can read. I've just never done anything.
Well, it's just fun. One reader, it's a job.
It did.
Then you did it so well every year.
I mean, I hope not for that.
And I guess
I mean, I'm not that weird, but I don't think I've done it in 50 years. So,
And it was not tailored towards me, and that's okay.
It's
Because,
fun.
the only problem is that now it's such a phenomenon that I'm going.
yeah, that's kind of how this happens.
You have to.
You have to read
It's
this.
still
cannot
a
speak to
classic.
Twilight.
You
Or
can't
never
read that.
yes,
Some of the
yes.
times.
Well, I have taken care of it, it is marked off of my Goodreads. So,
Woo-hoo.
yeah, at 1:03 this morning, I think I marked it, finished.
Yeah, I haven't put it on my Goodreads yet, but.
Well, what reason would you give it?
Oh, okay, I gave it 3 stars.
I'm going to give
That was
it.
fun for my
I gave it a 3 stars. And my reasoning for it was all the reasons that I just gave credit. It very much, it did what I think it was supposed to do, or even if it wasn't intended to, it did good things for readers and teens alike in terms of reading. I don't think the healthy relationship, very Joker, Harley Quinn, not a healthy relationship, probably not but yeah, no, I gave it 3 stars. I almost gave it 4, but I was like, I didn't like the book enough for that. So.
No, so generous with your stars, Matthew. I'm going to be giving it 2 stars.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm not giving it 1 star because it didn't actively make me angry.
Yeah, like I didn't hate it. Whenever I started to enjoy it, she took the joy from me, and so I started her.
And I need to talk about Stephenie's weird feminist and not feminist at the same time. Because she has like mixed these comments of like trying to make Bella like a strong character, and she's even like that essay where Bella's like a misogyny of
Okay, so that's a great point to bring up.
like this is a very weird book to me because you can see where she is trying to make Bella feminist, and Stephenie will call it a feminist book, but also you have like this girl being gaslighted and being okay with being gaslit. And it's just a weird thing going on.
Also, she's like the back house elf and has to do all the cooking and
Yeah,
all the
it's-
chores and errands.
And it's not even that she has to, it's just she feels a
She just like
responsibility to.
imposes that on herself.
She does impose that upon herself. Like, Carly doesn't have anything on her.
on herself.
It's very
No one made her do it. She did it to herself.
And I do, like, I'm going to break a little bit of, I'm going to go farther into the book. I think it's okay if Bella wants, like, if she wants to be a domesticated person, and if that's what she wants, that is totally fine. I don't have any problem with it. It's just the whole allowing to be gaslit. Like, Like, there's not, that doesn't make her not a feminist wanting to have a domestic.
Her in the
I feel like-
first book expresses that something that she likes.
But it's the whole letting Edward control her.
But it's also like, so she does that paper and mentions the misogyny in Shakespeare, and then like within 3 or 4 paragraphs, she then essentially bashes Charlie for not understanding the girly stuff.
Yeah.
And it felt counterproductive to what you were just trying to point. Like, then teach Charlie. Like, he clearly is struggling with this. You're open, like, you're clearly pretty strong enough character.
Way more into the girly stuff than with any business things. He's like, oh, I'm going to go to the dance.
He's very
Don't you like any other boys in town?
Mike. Very interested in Mike.
Yeah.
How about that Mike kid? He's such a good kid. I love him.
I actually really like Charlie for some reason.
I feel just kind of bad for Charlie.
Yeah, I
because,
love about
you
that.
know, like Dad broke up with him and told him she wanted to have course, and then I don't think he ever actually apologized for that because she said she's going through it, and she had it. So I guess maybe Tyler just believes that Bella hates him now,
Yeah,
but
it's
she's still living at his house.
like his response to her taking off in the middle of the night, essentially, traveling to Phoenix on her own and meeting up with his, as far as he knows, meeting up with the boyfriend that caused her to do this to begin with. His response is just, you have a curfew now.
And for someone who's a cat, it seems very silly.
Yeah, he's like real chill with it, and very okay. And it is pointed out a few times that he's like not super good with the dad stuff, but like that even like that's not even dad stuff anymore. You're like a cop. You didn't investigate your daughter just like taking off.
Did they say that he literally believes Edward had something to do with her getting hurt?
I feel like that is actually brought up at some point where he's like, he does one
Or
thing.
the thing.
Oh, which thing?
With,
Oh,
the whole.
okay. So this is like, I'm gonna make somebody upset with it. I noticed this, and the first thought I had was, this is maybe the best example of hiding domestic issues in a book I've ever read. In that she comes back and forth with a broken leg and busted ribs and cuts, and they say she fell down a spot twice. That's how she got injured.
Everyone just kind of believes.
And it's like, okay, you met up with your boyfriend that caused you to run out in tears, and y'all come back together. Yeah, no, she fell downstairs.
See, but that's why I have to point out that she's so clumsy, so we believe that she actually fell down the stairs.
But the entire time she's not telling everyone else, she's just telling Edward and herself in her head the entire. That's the only people that she tells and talks about being
And it's just like, that's like the standard excuse. Oh, I fell down.
Yeah, like,
I
if she
ran
was-
into a door.
Yeah, like it felt very much like that was not the way you wanted to do that, I don't think. Like my first thought was immediately, that's exactly what a domestic issue
Her
like hiding
happiness
would be.
before just has been, oh no, I tripped and dropped all my stuff, or oh no, I hit you with the badminton racket. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was fairly minor thing.
I almost killed the car was her
That's what I
fault.
thought though.
Not really. She didn't have to for anything.
Yeah, the car was just speeding through the parking lot on
I
ice.
could have avoided that car.
She also went down a dark alley by herself.
No one knew about that with Edward, so. And that was not coming as that was higher.
Yeah, that was her just wondering.
That was being danger prone and putting yourself in danger.
And if you treat it as like the domestic issue, if you look at it that way, then it does feel like Edward is always kind of corralling her into situations.
Yeah.
And so it takes on another light too. But when I did read that, my first thought was, that's not good. That was not a good decision.
We had a little bit better excuse, like, I don't know, I was in the library and a bookcase fell on me.
Car crash mechanics, like what are they gonna, like how are they gonna not, millions of people have seen it apparently, she made that point several times, like I'm sure a car accident happened with that
I
day.
feel like Charlie could track that down, though.
Charlie doesn't seem confident enough to have tried that though.
I mean, but to be fair, he also, like, because Charlie's another one who kind of goes back and forth, like, he seems so uninvested in her life, but also then there's that, like, random morning where Ice is on the road and Bella wakes up and Charlie's already put, like,
Actually, that was a really nice moment.
Yeah,
that was a very nice moment, but it was like, Charlie has, like, these moments where he is super, like, invested in Bella's life, kind of from the side, because Charlie consistently stays a quiet character, so from the side he's showing that he cares, but then also, as you mentioned,
was like, so you have a curfew now? So
Yeah, like his response to this very, like, again, very
He believes.
frequently used excuse for home incidents is you have a curfew now, but your boyfriend can plan this prom date without your knowledge with me, you have a curfew.
But,
Yeah, very
you
true.
know, Charlie's just that independent.
He is very defensive.
So while like I don't see Charlie looking into like a police report, I also do see Charlie.
I don't see him even in the same room. I feel like as soon as she's back in Fort, he doesn't even care. Like, it's like, okay, well, he's here. I just can't picture him
He'll just
even
kind of feel
Googling.
bad for it, though, because Bella's just like, I have been in self-imposed exile to your house, Charlie. I look down on you, but don't worry, I'll make you dinner.
And she doesn't seem to have a whole thing very high esteem most of the time. And when she does compliment him, it follows some sort of insult in some form or fashion. So, which is
It's not unrealistic, but it's just a dastard.
yeah, I mean, he's not a good dad, but he's not a terrible person. So it's not like he deserves all this ridiculous things to receive from her.
It's also not his fault that you're at his house.
Yeah, that was your decision.
You decided to do that.
And you can tell that he wants her to have the freedom because he doesn't want her to go back to Phoenix. It's like one of those, like, I don't know how to handle it, so I'm gonna like use tongs.
Yeah.
He's probably real confused why she's even here.
But she always thought how much she hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the first thing he
I'm
says.
gonna live with you, Dad. And like, oh, okay.
Don't have
Happy?
food.
Maybe?
Well, and like, she was spending time with him more frequently when she was younger, and then she just up and moves in as this teenage person who
After
knows
his-
everything, and,
Yeah.
yeah,
After his issues, what comes to it.
exactly. And
But
then,
yeah.
I'm a little
and he's
confused.
still learning how to use everything. Doesn't want to make her mad, but doesn't want to endanger her, but is okay with making her mad and kind of endanger her.
It's so strange though, because again, like his whole thing is okay, you have a curfew now, because that was the issue to begin with. Was she was out late? I guess I don't know what the issue was for him to be like, your punishment is you're under my watch and you have curfew. Okay. Sure. Very, very
I almost
honest.
feel like he wants to believe that it was really like some kind of weird accident because Dr. Carlisle was there, but
Yeah.
but then was there and he was gonna cry. She left and she got hurt, and I'm suspicious, but I don't really believe.
Yeah,
I'm so mad.
that's why it's such a
You have a
weird
curfew.
thing. Yeah, that's why it's so weird though. It's like he's like, I mean, Carlisle was there, which is already kind of weird that y'all met up.
Yeah, his acting taking Carlisle was kind of straight.
He does, like, early on in the book when Bella, like, asks about them, so he gets, like, really offended that people think that they're calling him.
Yeah,
He's like pro-Colin.
he's very pro Carlisle for sure. He's not a fan of Emmett, but he's.
He does mention that, like,
That's true.
he does mention that, like, Carlisle could have gone to any hospital because he's so good and he, like, chose Ford. So, like, I guess he's a police officer who maybe has had to interact with Carlisle. And so,
Yeah, maybe.
so, like, I guess I get the respect for.
So I mean, every description of Carlisle until they like go to the house is essentially him just being like the most charming, handsome dude ever. He's like the sweetest.
He's got really kind of stuff.
He's the one who's not proud. What's the one who's crazy as the one guy everyone likes.
Yeah.
Yes, McDreamy, I couldn't think of what they call him. Yeah, that's.
But yeah, Carlisle hope that is really weird and more people could think that he's strange.
I like him.
I don't dislike him, he's over there, he's on the outside and looks strange and sinister.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
got this like collection of handsome and sexy teenagers that live in his house.
That is true. And they all, and he looks
They're
almost
allowed
very.
to, only looks like the few years older than them, and
Well, don't they say that, like, one of them, like, or two of them were, like, brother and sisters? That's one of them, like, as near Carlisle, like, younger siblings or something?
I don't think so.
There's some kind of, like,
But they mentioned like two of them are like they both got adopted together, and then another two too, that like they're supposedly like in a relationship and they live under the same roof cast, and then, yeah, I don't remember them actually specifying. I think they mentioned that two of them, like Alice and whichever one that in it or somebody, like their sibling or something like that.
Yeah,
But I think that's mostly just,
but two of them had different happenings.
yeah, and it sounds very much like just high school gossip. Like it's not as good as,
Oh my gosh,
it's very much,
and then Rosalie was like, dang,
yeah, and it does feel like it's like the high school version, and that's not the official story that the film gives. It does feel like it's just high school banter.
yeah, I don't know any people at the town that did, and they're totally saying something. That
Yeah, I
is,
don't think that Carlisle is cool.
you think that Carlisle has his own little, fucking mountain.
But
Stuff like that, we went there, and it's like, you go inside, and it's like all white, open plan, and beautiful, and you're like, it's just kind of scary.
yeah, there's good parts. I'll give it credit. I thought I would hate it more than I did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the three. I was really expecting a one or two.
I will say I'm expecting to just
I just,
unreally, because it's like the combination of everything I don't like in a book all in one, and I didn't overly hate it.
Esme is like supposed to be the aunt of Jasper and Rosalie.
That's right.
So that's kind of how they get away with that. And sorry, I lost the page.
Jasper and Rosalie are siblings?
Yeah, that would make sense because Jasper and Alice are together, and then Emmett and Rosalie are together, so they kept it.
Details.
they're just people on,
Yeah, that's
But they are not.
they're not.
Yeah.
Well, that way, you know, because I think Alice and Emmett are supposed to actually be siblings too, so that way nobody's dating their brother or sister.
They're brothers.
So,
Still, they're not the brothers, just they're,
That's true.
Dylan is
like,
In Fort Washington, that was a scandal.
it's big scandal.
Interesting. Well, I get it. I understand the like now, I guess. Sort of. You gave it like a 4 or a 5, right?
Oh, I mean, back in the day, it's 5 all day.
Okay,
I
well,
would dial it back now, maybe to a 4.
maybe
Maybe.
4.5 round up.
So, I have to say, I'm just over too much, and I will,
Yes, you are.
just don't expect it of me.
Those Goodreads scores surprised me when I see them.
Yeah.
They're harsh, huh?
They're harsh.
Bonnie's like, I really like this book, 3 stars.
I think what most people mean is they don't get 3 stars, and me, it's different.
Like, Bonnie's like, you get 3 stars if you wrote a book. Like, it's published, it's 3 stars.
I have to like really dislike it to even give it
But
a
it
2.
even means different things in different contexts.
Yeah.
So I gave my spider book 4 stars, but not that it was amazing, well-written book, because I wasn't reading it.
That's fair.
Well, I sure do like my spider book.
And what I have writing here and the plot development is 5 stars. But the enjoyment I got out of it at the time, 5 stars.
5 star enjoyment level, that's
That's
whatever.
I can get behind that.
My 11-year-old gave it 5
stars.
At my current age, I'm probably giving it 3.
I honestly, if I had read it when I was younger, I probably would.
There is another one that I gave 2 stars, and even though this has 2 stars, and the other one has 2 stars, hated the other one so much more. So like the Queen Ocean's the one that we
Oh, yeah.
the writing isn't awful, but it's killing so much. I don't, this did not give me a read headache, and so.
That's fair.
We got a lot of 3s, 1, 2, 4.
It probably would have gotten more if I had read it when it was the first one, I think. I probably would
We'll have to wait a minute past 6 to know what the rating is.
have. Oh,
She might have gone 4.5.
Would be affected by the next one.
that's true.
It might be now that she
Yeah,
is
I
there.
heard a few things about Midnight Sun, and what I heard was that Edward has doctor's training.
Interesting. All I've heard is what Kristen has said, and it has not made me a fan of Edward at all.
Well,
For
you
your
never
person
know.
to be with it.
And you only read like
Over 100 pages
and
and
you should.
just could not doing that.
Huh. If you read the whole Twilight series, and
If you
you,
want,
And
and
then
you
that's
enjoy all of
just
it,
like,
I enjoy all of them.
was it just because it was a reset? Or?
No, it's really fun, and it just, again, it was the same thing, but it's him meeting her in the classroom, but from his perspective, so it was the exact same story, and not much else is going on up here.
I
to
kind of
anybody
like
else.
it.
Where does the book start though? Like, does it start with Ella walking in the classroom, or does it start a little bit before that?
It starts with them being in the lunchroom and he's seeing her for the first time.
Oh, that's right, because Bella mentioned that he's staring at her.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, interesting.
And like, did Edward even have an interaction with her before that we didn't know about?
The 50 Shades of Grey books did that too, right? They did another book that was from a dude's
I
perspective.
think it was called Dirty, right?
Yeah.
Not interested.
Why would anyone want to know what they're thinking?
Like, Galen, I know Galen didn't, what is it, Eclipse is the one that you have to like a filler book?
Eclipse, yes. What is your rating of Twilight? We did a rating.
I mean, rating on what scale? Like,
Yeah, good read style.
Yeah, it's a good reset.
I mean,
You can elaborate.
And you can do half stars if you need to. I'll even take quarter stars. I have to do that sometimes.
I would give Twilight a 4 because I really enjoyed the story. I think you were the one that said, or somebody said that Bill was just a boring character and they're both boring characters. I'm like, not everybody can be like super stellar, awesome characters. So I like that she's boring and that she's
Average.
yeah, she's just an average teenage girl and
It's almost kind of refreshing to get.
yeah, like some people need main characters sometimes too.
That's fair, but like my only question then is, so like Alice is super cool, and Emmett is like a super cool guy, and
Yeah.
Jasper is like super cool, and that doesn't temper it at all for you. You're like, nope, the boring ones are who I want to focus on.
Oh no, I would love to have more of an Alice story. Like
Yeah.
that is the story to write. Like we don't need Midnight Sun. We need a story about Alice. That would be really, really good.
Of Rosalie and
There might
Emmett.
be a story that's kind of like an Alice story and you just need to find it.
See, and I think there is, like, a lot of times, like, I tend to read fantasy with really strong female characters, and I love that because, like, they're always, like, picked up characters. But, I mean, Bella's not that. She's just a very much, oh, this is my life, this thing might happen to me, let me take advantage of it, and
That's it right there.
Yeah.
That is it. It's like as soon as she realizes that she can be not normal, she's
Yeah.
like all in, like I have to be an wow.
It's not
Exactly.
the whole purpose of this kind of story.
yeah, you
It
don't.
feels like your life is boring. The escape bus comes by and the sparkling vampire form. You jump on that bus and you
Sure.
ride into vampiredom because it's much more interesting than making your dad marry a chick.
Exactly.
So, like,
Every night. Every night.
So like all three of you have read the whole series.
Yeah.
Which one's y'all's favorite book?
New one was my favorite.
Yeah, that's a hard question, I know.
I feel like New Moon. New Moon was a really good one for me.
New Moon is my favorite because you get more of Jacob in it.
Yeah.
And although I am ultimately Team Edward,
Yeah.
I do really like
I
Jacob.
do want to go back and read New Moon now because I want to see how it talked about Bella's depression, that like as an 11-year-old or 12-year-old that I didn't maybe understand as much, and I kind of want to go back and explore that.
I
probably won't make it through like Eclipse and Breaking Down because even Breaking Down came out when I was 13 and I actually struggled to read Breaking Down. By that point, like, this had lost its appeal. I was just finishing it because I started it and really enjoyed the other three.
see
Everything I've ever heard about Breaking Dawn is incredibly great.
I agree.
I struggled to get through Breaking Down.
I was 31 and stayed up for the midnight premiere of Breaking Dawn.
That's amazing.
I was struggling to get through.
Book 6 of Harry Potter, I think. And then I was like, I'm not doing that again, I'll just wait. And that's the end of my midnight stuff.
I did that for like the last 3 Harry Potter books. It was the midnight thing. But I did that with Twilight because, look, I like Breaking Dawn. It was a bit more difficult to read, but I liked the fact that it was ending. Not because it needed to end, but just because I was finishing, like, having that story finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
So getting to that conclusion where you feel like something's going to happen and it's going to happen the way that you want it to happen, and it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of a twist in that, and it made it that much more enjoyable for me. But I did prefer.
Well, really, what I need to go back to this, we need to finish the series, so then we can meet back up and discuss this. So I feel like we got off the
Okay, so, alright, so here's where I stand on this.
Well, we're gonna work out.
New Moon, I worry because of the way she handles some of the things in Twilight. I worry that the way she handles the supposed teenage depression and all that. Not sure I'm gonna like. I think I'm going to actually.
Really?
I might hate her as an author, depending on how she's handled it in my view. So that may make or break whether or not I can get through the third
I
one.
feel like just judging by the way Belle's written in this book,
That's
that
my worry.
Edward's going to take off, and she can
Yeah.
be like, my life is meaningless without him, I turn off like a light.
Yeah, and
And then he'll come back and she'll just snap back out
I
again.
don't like that
You're close. I'm gonna be honest, but you don't give Bella enough credit in your
He
thing.
was actively trying to
It
jump off the
really-
cliff according to you, so.
Well, actually something else happened with that jump, and then also.
He has a reason to
I
not
may-
do
I
that.
may-
But Jason is like such a good little nugget,
Yeah.
and so that's why I really like New Moon. Jacob is just such a
I
good
already
little
feel incredibly sorry for Joseph, and I know very little about what happened to his character, but I just know that
I think you guys probably just need to read it.
I'm not gonna read it.
I probably will read New Moon. And if I don't hate her as an author by the end of it, I might be able to get through that. But it all depends on how she handles what is clearly a key piece to New Moon.
You know, once you finish this series, Matthew, I know you're just going to appreciate every single book.
I don't think that's true.
I think it is.
So I know it's not going to be true in my case, I understand my case.
I mean,
I know myself, and I know I would not enjoy reading the rest of the Twilight Saga.
and we collectively, the three who have actually read the series, all were like, New Moon's the best. So I guess if it's better than Twilight, I guess I'll have to at least try it.
It was my favorite. It was the one that I reread a few times.
Okay, alright, that's good. Okay.
I think I reread Twilight once, besides this time, and Eclipse once, and I've only read Breaking Dawn like once. But I think I read maybe probably 3 or 4 times.
Gotta get the Goodreads numbers up, so I know where you're
That is true. Now, getting through Eclipse was very difficult.
Eclipse was a struggle.
It
The
was my
ending was
least favorite.
fine, but like, I don't remember what happens in the beginning. I was trying to build them. I was trying to build them in, and I could not remember anything but the last third of that book.
Eclipse was trying to save Bella.
Isn't that the
What
entire
is
series?
that not?
Yes.
Oh, right.
It was trying to save Bella, and it was much more imperative that Bella is saved because, you know, builds from book
Okay.
1 into Bella being saved.
Alright, so I'll read New Moon, and if I can get through it, maybe, because that was not a strong,
That doesn't sound.
that did not reel me in.
Like, I'm just feeling more good about my cases.
Yeah, I'm not reading it.
Yeah. Honestly, don't even remember what happens besides the last third.
I'll read New Moon, and then like, Kristy, hey, look, okay, I have thoughts.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Here's a linked Google Doc with 5 things in it.
Only 5?
Oh, I will remember the
Yeah, only 5. I was expecting like 20.
It's going to be more than 5.
I legitimately, I, knowing that I needed to get it done, I didn't want to focus on writing my notes, so I only have 3 pages.
Only.
And it's only for the first like 240 pages. But most of them are just me making quips to myself, like, okay, of course this happened. But, yeah.
You didn't even bring up one of your favorite moments.
Oh, which one?
The no one is going to.
Oh, okay. That's like, okay. This could be my last comment if it has to be. This is like my favorite part of the book. Stephenie Meyer writes that as she's like, as Bella is getting ready for school for the first time, and she's like psyching herself up because she's nervous or whatever, she uses the phrase, "No one is going to bite me." And I laughed so hard.
I forgot about that.
I was like, this is amazing. This is the best.
And you know what? He did, even though he
If he did that?
wanted him to, but.
Gosh, yeah, no, that, thank you for reminding me of that, because that was the best, like, I was like, okay. Alright.
Here we go.
This is what I'm getting.
Well, see, and like, I brought that up because one of my favorite parts in the book is when she's like, well, didn't you ever think about when you saved me from that car that you were just like tempting fate? My time was supposed to be out. He's like, your time was supposed to be out when I first met you.
Oh, man, okay. Well, see, I think I have another one then, because I remember that, and I also kind of chuckled at that one too. Let's see. I have to scroll. All right, pages. Okay, let's see. Oh, page 245, and he's just talking about how she never does what he expects her to. I'm like, I laugh because all she has done up to this point is go to school, come home, cook dinner, and then repeat. So she has done nothing out of the ordinary, and if you can't guess what her routine is, I thought it was hilarious.
Well, she does underreact when she sees it.
That is fair.
That is.
But, some people just are like, I'm just going to internalize that because that's an odd thing to happen. But,
Well, she's almost prepared for sure. She's supposed to make it. She's not bothered by the fact that Edward desperately wants to eat her.
She's not
But
that
apparently
big.
he's holding himself back with the sheer power of his will.
He does mention that it gets easier as he gets used to.
Which doesn't really make sense to me. But I guess that's how.
That's one of the ways that they like try to. Granted, this is like the exact opposite direction, but like with a phobia, you expose yourself into it. So I guess
is that a thing? Because I haven't been exposed to a spider and was like, heck no, we're not doing it.
you usually start off in like stages, like just kind of imagining it, and
This
then
cannot be healthy for somebody to go with spider. This sounds like the exact opposite of what I.
Like if you're afraid of heights, you're like stand on the floor.
Like, I don't, like, it may be a tactic, it does not sound a tactic for me. I would just, I'm not,
They might do that, but they'll try to get me to do that.
yeah, I'm not going to do that.
should we?
I don't know how
try to
hard it
do
is.
some final and we comment. I guess we kind of did with the rating.
That's true.
We had a 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 4-star over there, 3-star, and a 3-star.
So collectively not
I
bad.
think it's
Like
like
we're at a 3.2, I like that. Yeah, I was surprised that I didn't hate it, so, I fully expected to not come out of this happy.
I also did not hate it for what the female teacher taught me in order to hate someone like a real baby.
No baby's feeling this book. Spoilers. No baby's
I
feeling
don't agree with you on that one.
You
Oh, yeah?
read it?
Oh, yeah.
Not a fan.
Oh, it made me so mad I had an actual headache.
Oh.
Like, so he was in there and she says, I'm like, well, technically it's not bad for you. I just hate it. And I'm like, I did not hate Twilight, but you couldn't find it very
It feels like a book one in a series. That shouldn't be 4 books, it should maybe be 3, but I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
3.25 somehow.
I got through it!
Yay!
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Okay.
we have an announcement we're gonna do.
Oh, yeah.